here's the bit where we talk about removing the curse of the pickled punk.
Yeah.
So hit.
Here's Opie and Anthony when they're not awful.
Okay, terrific.
The worst of Opie and Anthony.
No more of that. It's bad for you.
Let's go to Yukon the trucker. Yukon.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Yukon.
Hey, I want to know, Opie, at what time did you bring that pickle punk to the studio?
The punk has been here almost since day one. Pretty much the first or second week I brought it back. I brought it back in from my house.
Okay, I was just thinking that maybe it was Jinx in the studio. Maybe you should get tap him and knocking his 9 toes to pedal down the DC with his Flintstone feet.
I completely agree that the pickled punk is disrupting my life.
It's jinxing.
And now I think it's disrupting the life of everyone in the New York facility.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm getting a lot of people asking about the pickled punk. They want to take it off my hands.
Ooh, can you just give it away?
I don't know.
That's... Ugh.
Shouldn't we get some kind of one of those people with like
an exorcist?
Something, like maybe somebody with a crystal ball or something.
Some kind of voodoo?
Yeah, maybe read the palm of the pickled punk, see what life it was supposed to have.
I think some type of decent burial is in order for the pickled punk.
Nope.
No?
Nope, I'm not taking a chance.
Well, on what?
It might need a Christian, burial or something.
Like you figure if you just bury it, it'll be haunting?
I don't know what religion it is.
I don't know either.
I really think the only solution to the pickled punk thing is to have Andy Gore come back and get it.
And claim it?
Yes.
He really jinxed you by giving it to you, because now I think maybe he had a problem with it, identified it as the Jinx pickled punk, and gave it to you. And now, how do you get rid of it? How do you dispose of a fetus?
I think if you give it back to the person who gave it to you, then
is that what you're saying?
You're making
it. It's never that easy in movies. It's never that easy. You can't just give. Once you give somebody a bad luck thing, it's not as simple as just going, "Hi, I'm returning this. Thank you."
Why not?
Because you got to go through some ritual or some very difficult thing or activity, or go to some strange, faraway place that's dangerous to get to. That's the only way you can cure that. Like the Brady Bunch, we were talking about the tiki idol. They couldn't just put it back. They had to give it Mr. Hanalei and had to tell him to go to the cave, and Vincent Price was there. And it's very dangerous for the kids.
But how about we burn something in all the corners of the room?
Like sage?
Is that the thing they burn?
I think they burn sage.
But it has to be burned in every corner of the room. You can't just walk around the place with sage burning. You have to burn it into each corner of the room.
You know that.
I do some of that reading sometimes.
What the hell? You burn it in the corner of a room?
Yeah, it gets rid of the badness.
I thought you just had to wave it around.
No, you don't just wave sage around.
What do I? I'm learning something new here.
Of course not. You burn it and then you make sure it hits every corner of the room. Well, someone will back me up on this one.
I'm not denying it. I'm just saying I don't think that'll work unless you get rid of the pickled punk first in the appropriate fashion.
I think as soon as we get rid of the pickled punk, all is going to be good with the show.
Could you imagine you get rid of it and everything miraculously just works here in the studio? Oh. All of a sudden we're not butting heads with anybody at XM anymore. Everything is fine with the world. You got to get rid of that thing.
I blame it on the pickled punk.
It is the pickled punk. That nasty little face. What do we do?
Give
it back.
I think we just give it back.
But there's got to be some kind of ceremony.
I think we give it back with some kind of ceremony with maybe some sage burning in the corners of the room.
Burning sage in the corners of the room.
Yep.
Give it back. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, the sage, you kind of sold me with the sage. Because I'm thinking you can't just give it back, but a little sage. But there's something missing.
I think we need to all come into work one day with robes. With hoods. Maybe like a robe with a purple hood. And then we all just walk around with the sage.
Something like that.
And you guys will follow me. Whoa, turn the lights back on. You're freaking me out, man.
Scaring me.
Holy shit.
Eric's turning the lights down.
And I didn't even know you were turning the lights down. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in here?
Yeah, okay. All right, sage. Hoods. But there's no real element of danger involved. Usually there's some kind of danger that has to be involved when returning these evil things. Getting rid of it.
Well, we could all, I don't know, eat pea soup and see what happens.
Let's see if we vomit it back up.
See if someone's head starts spinning around the room.
In evil fashion?
No, we're all going to get robes with hoods.
Yeah.
With some kind of weird, like...
an emblem?
Some kind of weird emblem.
That's just silly.
That might be either good or bad. We don't even know, you know?
Like the Druids?
Maybe with, like, some kind of a star, like a half moon.
Half moon?
Half moon, a star, and a plus sign.
Nope. Plus sign. No pentagram, though.
No.
No evil.
No, because we all know what that is. It has to be some kind of emblem. You really don't know what it is.
Okay.
But you know it's going to work. And then you guys will have to follow me around the room as I'm burning the sage into each corner of the room.
How come we're involved in this? It's your punk.
Yeah, but obviously it's affected the show. It's affected this place. People's lives are a little strange these days.
Now the punk has been touched, though, by Mars.
Yeah, that's not good, but I had nothing to do with that.
But
I had nothing to do with someone actually poking the pickled punk.
Poking it.
All
he
right.
might have been sleeping and stuff, and now you woke him up.
Hey, look, we're looking up emblems online. Yeah, I like that one. I like the cross symbol with like the noose at the top.
Is that called an ankh?
I have no idea. How the fuck do you know it was an ankh?
Forget Aristotle and fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
I just know it as a cross with like the like a noose thing at the top. And do you know how to spell it?
No, I'm awful at spelling, Opie.
All right.
No, sorry.
All right.
That's one thing Professor Anthony needs to study, is his spelling skills. Thank God for spell check. God, did I used to get railed. When I used to have to write things. I use spell check now. I defy you to find misspelling in the past, even couple of years, I would say.
Well, I could break out the XM Satellite Radio contract. I think you barely spelled your name right.
Okay, I was probably drunk at the time.
All right, so
I understand. Years ago, I was, very bad, and when I had to write things, it's just awful. Now spell check is so easy. Just pop it right in there. It calls you an idiot, gives you the right spelling, you move on. You look like a genius.
All right, we got to figure out something with this pickled punk. It's obvious.
Yeah, I am a little frightened. It has really kind of put a damper on the show. Thank you. Why did you even ask for it? It's the worst thing you could possibly have is a fetus staring at you through a glass jar. It's cool if you go over what's his name, Andrew's house, and go on his tour of all of his pickled punks. But to have one, you don't want to have one.
No,
you walk through a freak show, you look at the bearded lady, you're not thinking of taking her home. You just kind of look at it, admire it as a freak, and move on.
And all kidding aside, a lot of bad things happened after I got the pickled punk.
Yeah.
So I'm partly serious here, by the way. I don't want to give you the laundry list, but it was a really bad 2.5 years.
But there's no guidelines as to what you do with it to get rid of any evilness that might be spread around. In the movies, it's easy. They go, and I'm reading in this book that you have to do A, B, C, D.
All right, well, why don't we go down to one of those ancient bookstores somewhere in the village?
And maybe talk to the person behind the counter, and they'll go, who's
been alive for like 400 years, but he still fits into society.
Right, very. Ooh, that's mysterious. Yeah, and then maybe he could direct us to a book.
Yeah, a book that he has to go.
The Necromonicon.
Oh, I got just what you need, and he goes in the back, and all of a sudden comes out with this book with a leather case or something.
Necromonicon, yeah.
Yeah, and this goes, blows it off. And there's the title of the book, and it's perfect for our situation.
And then you thumb through
Pickled punk removal.
Pickled punk removal section. There's never it's never like that. It's never that simple.
I can't wait to start smoking pot again, because this sounds great.
It's like the old Asian guy in Gremlins downstairs.
Yeah.
You got to kind of, find him in an out-of-the-way spot.
We have to go to a bookstore somewhere. It's an out-of-place bookstore, but the guy has to have some kind of like long beard.
Long, weird beard.
Long, weird beard.
And it can't just be an old bookstore. It's got to be like an occult place, though, doesn't it? Where
no,
they sell,
that's
books and charms.
That's the beauty of it.
It could just be an old bookstore?
The Gremlins guy. He was just kind of in this cool little shop. And then it had that, yeah, exactly.
All right, so it's an old bookstore.
Yeah.
But it can't be like a Borders or something.
Nah.
It's got to be like an independent bookstore.
Independent.
You can't, like, go in there and get some coffee.
Yeah, no, an independent
Sit down.
bookstore that might have some children's books off to the side a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit, just to create the illusion.
Oh, that
and you
it's
might be
legit.
using this bookstore for other things.
But then what's, like, the secret word to let the guy know, look, we need a little more than what you're showing out here?
A scar on my body.
What? I don't even... What?
Some kind of scar on my body.
And you show it, and he goes, oh, I got what you need.
Exactly.
And he goes around back.
And he's been waiting a very long time for me to show up. Like his whole life
isn't gonna work.
His whole life has been just waiting for this moment where I show up to show the scar.
What scar do you have?
I don't know. I got like this. I got a really bad scar from when I was a kid where I tried to open an orange juice can.
That isn't it. You mean that back then you were opening an orange juice can and that was sealing your fate back then?
Who knows? Now I'm starting to think.
It has to be something
and
odd.
I tried to push the lid
strange.
down, and the edge of the orange juice can almost took my whole thumb off. Look, it's still there 20-some-odd years later.
Dude, that means nothing. It would have to be some kind of strange occurrence. If the orange juice lid mysteriously flung off the counter and zipped like a saw blade into your finger, that's one thing. You're opening up a can as a kid, and that's putting this high sign scar on your thumb to show the guy in the shop?
I believe it set me down the road, and it brought us to this moment.
You're going to put your thumb up, and he's going to be like, yeah? What can I help you with, sir?
You know what? I never really noticed what this scar spells out or something. Maybe we should get a little ink and I'll press it down on a piece of paper to see what it's all about. By the way, that's going to be my new autograph when we go out.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Just going to dip it in ink and,
yeah.
and give a thumbprint of your
Because now this scar, because we've talked about it on the radio, is very famous.
We have learned that if you talk about something, it gets famous.
How many people are going to ask me to see the scar now?
Let me see the orange juice.
When we're out and about.
There it is, the orange juice can scar.
All right, so you're with me or what?
No, not with the scar. I was with it. I'm feeling it because I want to get rid of this too. But the scar thing.
All right, what are you feeling? Are you feeling like some weird emblem thing on our purple robes?
Ooh, that's good. No, because we got to walk into the place and have some kind of weird emblem. Maybe something around your neck, like a necklace thing or a ring or something that.
I got this cool thing on this cool cross thing that I wear all the time.
It's a cross.
Which, by the way, I've been walking around Manhattan and really bothering people. I just will hold